Okay. All right. So I am going to screen share. You guys tell me if you can see this so that I make sure that you don't miss any of the goodness. And I will record this and I will post the slides as well if you need this. So let's get to it. But for those who are watching the recording, this is our team call for September 10th. So I want to talk to you guys today just about some announcements and things first, and then we're going to move into some other goodness, just kind of train you guys on some things and give you some helpful tips that maybe you didn't know to help you out. So all right, so let's not forget about a couple things. The first thing I want to remind you about is the happy hour webinar. This is something that everybody can invite to. So if you have not done that on your stories or in a post, that's homework number one. Okay, so you need to do that and just go in your stories and talk about, you have 4 story slides. So, share a little bit about your story. You can share after this team call tonight and just, whatever your emotions that you're feeling. Like usually when I get off a team call, I'll show a little boomerang and then I talk about how much I love having something that's mine. Every year that I've been a coach, it's always kind of changed because I started as a coach when I had no kids and then I was pregnant and then I was also still teaching. And then every year since then has been having kids and pregnancy and different things. And so now almost 6 years into the business come this November, my journey has changed a lot. And the reason that I love coaching has changed a lot. And one of the big things that I love about it right now in this kind of season of being a crazy busy mom and having 3 kiddos is that it's my outlet, right? It's my outlet for me. So we just got done with baseball, so tonight I'll probably do a boomerang and I'll talk about how we just got done with baseball and now we're home. And I am so grateful to have something that I get to plug into that's mine. It's my me time. It makes me a better person. It's, brought in all these amazing people into my life. It's helped me to become a more mindful person where I'm doing personal development and I'm just taking care of myself. And it's made me better for my whole family. So I'll probably talk about something like that. And then I'll let them know, hey, if you have watched me story and share it all, or you have any questions about what I do and you're like, why are you sharing on social media? Then come join us on Sunday. We're hosting a webinar. A couple of coaches will be sharing their story and we'll just be talking all about this stuff right here, right? So like what we're not, our team goal, how do we make money, what our team provides, all those little things. And so this is such an easy way, you guys, for y'all to invite to coaching in a very not scary way, especially if you're on this call tonight. Share a little boomerang, talk a little bit about the team and why you love coaching, and then invite them to this and get their email. Do a little question box, drop your email here, and then all the rest of the information that you need to send them, I've laid out for you in our Posse page. So definitely don't miss the boat on Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern on hopping on and also having some people come and join you. We will post the recording as well. Okay, let's talk about a couple updates and then we'll get into Instagram stuff and hopefully we will not be here for, like hours. Okay, so first things first is 30-day breakaway. So a lot of you guys who's finishing up MBFA this week, drop it in the chat. I'm kind of sad to see it go. Are you guys sad to see it go? I'm kind of like in between, like part of me wants to do it again, but the other part of me is like, don't do that, Ashley. You always get burnt out if you repeat programs over and over again. So I probably won't do it again. I'm going to do a hybrid. So if you guys want to join me in doing that, I will be doing a hybrid calendar starting next week on Monday and going all the way until the 19th when customers can join us. So October 5th is that coach exclusive window. This is on our calendar as well. But just a reminder, this is our next program. So maybe you're like, I don't know anything about running. I hate running or whatever it is. But I want to encourage you guys that being a part of a launch is a very huge thing for your business. So having something new and exciting, a challenge that you're taking on, and also the volume that comes into our team, you want to make sure that you are at least an Emerald coach or above and solid so that you can get cash out on all that volume that comes and translates into income when you are at least an Emerald or above with those team cycle bonuses. So just like with any launch, this is our next launch. So whether, we've had BAR, now we had MBA or MBFA and MBF and MBFA, we had both of those. And now this is our next one. So I encourage you to go into the back office. You can go to the FAQ and check out things. We're also going to have her on a team call, and we're also going to hear from some of our success starters that got to be a part of this test group. So like, I'm going to have Amanda, one of my coaches, share a little bit about it on one of our other calls, because it's actually been really cool. Now, I am not a runner. I like to run. I'm not great at it. And I wouldn't say like, if I could pick any workout that I wanted to do, it was going to be running. So I'm excited to take on this challenge, because I too want to discover the joy of running and build a long, lean physique like it promises in this program. So, I'm excited about it, and I hope you guys will jump on board too. So that is coming. And don't forget that September 14th is a sample workout. So if I were you, on your homework, on your notepad right now, I would be writing down, 1, I'm going to share about my happy hour webinar on Sunday. And 2, I'm going to share a little bit about this 30-day breakaway. If you don't have a form or anything like that, that's okay. Just talk about it. Talk about how you're ending whatever you're doing now, that you're about to embark on this new journey and get on board with a new program, that they have an opportunity to test it with you for the first time. And you're going to do it together. And you want to sample it on the 14th, and you'd love for them to do it with you. So drop their email if they want to try it too. No strings attached, right? No contracts or anything like that. They're not signing up for anything. You're just going to send them the link. So if I were you, I would definitely share about that. Even if you're going to go into MBFA again for 3 weeks, that's okay. You still have time. We're not starting this until after October 5th. So just a little note there to just kind of get on board. If you can get on board with the rest of the team, you will reap the benefits of a launch. So that's our next one. We also have a small kind of mini launch of this unstressed meditation program. And while I don't know a whole lot about it, this is going to be really great for those of you guys who want to pair it with yoga, or with, maybe if you were doing the 21-day, the ultimate reset. So this is kind of an unguided meditation program that is built around lessening, anxiety, and helping you to relax and just kind of create mindful meditation every single day, are centered around certain subjects. So I think this is going to be super cool. And again, if this is something that interests you, we will have a whole challenge group guide for it, so that you can host a group that goes along with it, which I think would be great in the fall. I think yoga and something mindful, during the holidays, I think that would be a really great idea. So just kind of putting these in your ear, so you can mark them in your calendar and just kind of be looking out for that. So this is going to be coming to the member library. Anybody who already has Beachbody on demand is going to get access to this on the 21st. Okay, so this is all. I'm going to go kind of breeze through a couple of these other things. These are all in the back office. Okay, so every single thing that I'm going through here, just a reminder to always log into your back office and just check on all the coach breaking news on the bottom, because that's going to just make sure and help you know that there's all kinds of resources for you to be able to use. Yes, I share a lot of stuff, but there's also a ton of other things in here. So they've made a couple changes to the coach back office. It's reminding you to register for Summit, reminding you about pumpkin spice, all those things. And then some different training guides have been posted as well. So check that out if you are looking for answers on any of that new stuff in there. Reminding you guys about Success Club. We have the rewards program for Success Club. Has anybody gotten any of their prizes or anything yet? I just received, what was it? 2 Shakeology sleeved blankets, Snuggies, that my kids thought were hilarious. But these are the Success Club rewards. So if you ever have an issue with getting those, you can always chat Coach Relations too, and they'll make sure that they get those out to you. But just kind of a fun reward that our company sends to us for helping people every single month. And then also, this was a huge one. This is awesome. That will help you guys with your customers, is that we also have some new free sample workouts in the coach office. So all of these are now listed in the coach back office. So, take a screenshot of that, or remind people about that. If you've got some who are, keep it in your mind. If you have some people that might like to try that workout, there now is an option to have the whole entire sample that we all get access to early, right, as a special release. Now they're going to be there all the time. So this is a great option for people who, when I talk to people and they don't know what program they want to do, this is a great opportunity to go into your Beachbody on demand to filter based on, they need something low impact, or however many samples, or however many minutes, or if they want cardio, or they want weights, or a certain trainer, and then you can filter and pull up those workouts, and then you can send them those links to those sample workouts. So it's a really, really great way to connect with people and let them actually feel what it feels like to do that workout before they purchase it. And we all know that if you do the program, a lot of times you kind of fall in love with it. So We have an upgrade to Beachbody On Demand packs. This was made, earlier in this month, like the first week of September, but since this is our first team call of the month, I wanted to make sure to cover this. But on September 9th, so just yesterday, they updated the Beachbody On Demand challenge and completion packs to include the digital access to both the Ultimate Portion Fix and 2B Mindset. So these are going to be included on there, the digital version. So that's a super awesome upgrade to what people get when they get their challenge packs, which I think is huge, especially if you have people you're talking to that need help with nutrition. So just wanted to kind of remind you of that. Of course, pumpkin spice, you guys all knew that, but if you still want it, there is a little bit left. Okay, next I wanted to congratulate our Autumn All-Stars. So you guys know that I am enlisting or starting a new mentorship program that I'm trying. I've partnered with 4 other multi-star diamond coaches and on our team in our downline, and we handpicked a handful of women to join us on a 4-week kind of intensive just quest to diamond, if you will. So this has been awesome. So these are my girls that I have hand chosen. So if you're on the call, pop in the chat and be like, yeah, that's me. So every single month, so in October, I will be choosing a whole new handful of about 10 girls to work with. So if you did not get chosen this time around, we're about a week in, these girls are crushing it. They're having daily check-ins where they've got different things. And the way that we've done this group is a little bit different than before. Usually in a mentorship group, we've got a group page and we've got trackers and we've got a thread and we've got a lot of other stuff going on, which is great. But we've tried doing something different with just a thread, and it's been really cool. I have a thread with just them on Instagram, and they're crushing it every single day, so they can connect with each other there. They're also crushing it in our huge group thread between all of the other coaches and us, our little posse. And then every day, they're checking in with different things, and they're just really having this community around others to see like, oh my gosh, they're signing up coaches and this is what's working for them. And we've got a weekly call that we just got off of, but to get on this call, and it's been great. So I just wanted to kind of shout them out because they're getting that special attention. They're getting extra time to just work together, and we're hoping that they make big moves in their business by October 1st. So you guys remember these faces, study these faces, and be ready for some diamond shout outs for them because I'm so excited for them. And if you did not get chosen there was lots of you, so it was really hard to narrow it down and choose my 10 girls that I wanted to kind of pour into this month. If I didn't choose you, it was nothing against you. It was not like you're not good enough or anything like that. It was just that these were the women that I chose this month to kind of pour into. So next month, apply again. I'm going to do this again in October. So I hope that you will apply again if you did not get in. And I hope that you will also have, even better stats and even better reasons and even more hard work to show me from the last time that you applied in September. So, take this time, take these next 3 weeks to really dive into your business and to really connect and just pour into everything that that needs to happen to advance your business forward. So congratulations to all my ladies and my all-stars. I'm so proud of you and super pumped. Okay, wanted to congratulate this is like the longest congratulations. Sorry guys, I'm going quickly, I promise. Wanted to congratulate our success starters up till now. We have Brandolyn, Caitlin, Kendra, and Caitlin, 2 Caitlins, but I wanted just to congratulate them. They are official success starters. They are having opportunity to be in test groups and things like that, and it's just crazy awesome. So congratulations to them. So proud. And we have these ladies that have 1 month to go with their success starter venture. So 1 more month of helping 3 people or more, and they too are going to be named success starters. So ladies, Mary Tess, Heather, Michelle, Nicole, way to go. I'm so proud of you guys. This is your month, so let's do it. I love it. Okay, next, congratulations to our team, the Inspiration Crew. So I found out that we are number 16 in the network right now, which I think is pretty dang good for 5 years in a row of being just in the top of the company, So I'm really proud of us. We're only 50 points away from number 15, and we actually topped them in 2 categories. So 1 category, we are like just a little bit away from them. So I think that we need to just move some tush and get this moving because I really want us to end the year at least at number 15. So, and I think that we can do it. It's just going to take all of us. Really, the big thing is all of us pushing and helping each other to move our businesses forward, right? To help really the way that we all together can collectively, actively really move us up to number 15 would be to help 3 people or more every single month. So each of us just committing that that is the part that we can play and move our businesses forward. Our girls who are working towards Diamond, they have a part that they can play that brings points to our team. Our girls that are going Star Diamond, that brings points to our team. So all of us, you guys realize that this is a team thing. So this number 16, all the years that we were in the top 10, that is not a me thing, that is a complete we thing. So I just want you guys to know I'm so proud of you. And this is very, very exciting. And I think that we can just crush the end of this year. You know, we're just about to head into the great fun time of, you know, of coaching, the seasons of all the holidays and stuff. So congrats, you guys can shout that out or share about it, whatever you want, but super, super exciting. And I hope that you guys want to partner with me to keep moving our team forward, which is super exciting. Okay, so now that I can take a deep breath, let me take a drink of my wine. Cheers, anyone? Take a sip for a second, because we're about to go over lots of stuff. Okay, so Instagram. So I've been doing a lot of research, and I also just am in company with quite a few like influencers and women who study a lot of Instagram trends. And so that's been kind of helpful for me to learn from. I am by no means an Instagram guru at all. I'm just kind of sharing with you what has helped me find more engagement, consistency, all that kind of stuff. And this is like going to be fairly brief, but later this month, we're going to do a very deep dive into creating very specific hashtags lists. If I get enough like excitement around that, then I will do a very specific training on that I'm pretty confident in, that you guys will really enjoy that. And then, like I said, I just invested in a Reels training that I'm going to go through, and then I will be sharing that with you guys as well. And we'll be doing a deep dive and Allison, a deep dive into how to use Instagram Reels for your business. Okay, so that's going to come like hopefully in the next couple weeks once I get through all that. Okay, here we go. So I want to talk about consistency, and you guys hear me hammer this word home like legit all the time, but we're going to talk about it again. So consistency is the biggest thing, you guys, on a social media platform like Instagram. So now I'm not going to say, you know, when I was a new coach, it was like post 3 to 5 times a day. I've told you guys that so many times. That is not what we do now. Okay. So very rarely will you even see me post twice a day. It'll be usually once a day. And sometimes I skip a day. So every 2 days or every other day, I will post. But whatever it is, you need to find that consistency. So right now in your notepad, you need to write down how many times a week are you going to post? Are you going to determine that you're going to be consistent by posting once a day? Are you going to post every other day? Is it just 4 times a week? Whatever it is, you need to write that down and commit to it. Okay. Now, if you're not posting on your feed, this is where the Instagram stories are ridiculously important. You do need to show up. Now, I Insta story a lot. Don't be like me. I'm too wordy and I can never be concise. Now, you can still you want to aim for at least 10 Instagram stories a day. Okay, so there's some of you that do far more than that, and there's some of you guys that do like 2, and we really need to get that up a little bit. But from all of the trainings and all of the, you know, connecting with other Instagram people, their number has said 10. So 10 is kind of the Instagram algorithm that Instagram likes. So 10 stories a day, but that's legit, you guys, like 3 minutes of your day. So I gave you some examples right here because it's like really easy when you think about it. So when you think about your whole day, because a lot of times the questions I get are like, I just don't know what to post about or anything. Good night, baby. I love you. Love you. Sorry, my kids are going to bed. The things that I get questions about are like, what does that even look like? They're like, how do I even talk about anything that's, you know, for that many things? So think about, remember, you want to think through the lens of, if I share this, is it going to connect with like the type of person that I want to connect with? So that's like, for me, like some like things in my kids, right? Like I want to connect with other moms that have kids around my age. And so you will see me share about kids stuff. Now, things like my devotional or things like, food and lunch ideas and things like that, you know, that is helpful for people. So the more that you ask people to, you'll find that they will tell you, what do they want to see on your stories? But here's kind of a layout of, if you were going to do 10 stories a day from morning till evening, there's some really simple ways that you can just be, you know, consistent. Take a picture of your breakfast that's hopefully on plan with whatever program you're doing right now. drop a little text on top of it saying what it is: turkey sausage, eggs, spinach, sauteed in a teaspoon of olive oil, whatever it is. That's actually valuable to people. Okay. Same thing with your devotion. Screenshot it and share. Hey, hold on to read my devotional. Like if you need some encouragement today, or your personal development. Those are ways that, yes, you're sharing part of your routine, but also you're adding value to them. You're giving them something that they can save or be influenced by. Things with your kids, things with your full-time job. Don't shy away from sharing that you're a nurse, or that you commute long hours every single day, or that there's, different things about you. That's all super important too. And again, narrows down and connects to the niche that you are trying to connect with. Okay, lunch ideas, food ideas, recipes, things like that. Workouts, if you're gonna post your workout, do not just post your workout. Post something with it. Post a little story. You'll see on my slides, like I always kind of like, do 3 or 4, maybe 5 little slides of combinations of my workout moves. And I talk about what's going on, maybe something that I went through that day that made it hard to work out, or why I'm loving this program so much, or anything. But it's such a simple way to have a call to action. And a really easy way to, with those workouts, then when I go to invite, I can go straight to those slides, and I know that people are seeing this kind of progression of me committing to my day, even though X, Y, and Z have been swirling around. So just simple ideas for you guys, but remember, it's just consistency. The more that you do it, the easier it is. Do not let those stories run out. Don't go to where you have no little circle around your face. It drops your algorithm and your views so much. So consistency is the big thing. Okay, so consistency, and I want you to write down 10 Instagram stories and the commitment of how many posts a week you're going to make. But this consistency, you guys, is not about being perfect. It's really about just showing up in spite of everything else going on. That is your platform. We are here to influence others, not to be perfect, but to say, hey, I'm Ashley. I'm a mom of 3. I'm a hot mess. I don't shower nearly enough. Dry shampoo is like in my bones. And here's how I show up for myself every single day. And here's how you can do it too, right? That is what you do. You are committed to showing up and being your best self. Commitment does not look like doing it just a couple times a week and then, kind of dropping off the deep end and then coming back and saying, oh guys, I know I went MIA, but I'm back now. No, that is not consistency. Okay, so we're not asking you to be perfect, but I'm asking you to be committed to showing up, doing a couple story slides, even if you can't do a bunch, but just showing up and being real with people, letting people know what you're going through, letting people know who you are and what you're doing, and how you are committing to your journey. That's what brings on that consistency. Okay, so now this is where you'll probably want to take some notes. This is stuff that has ridiculously helped the engagement that I get on posts that I make and things like this. Okay, so the first thing, this is something huge, and I've been testing it the last couple days, and monumentally different, okay, on my posts. So right after you post your picture, okay, this is talking about your feed, right? So right after you post your picture, for 30 minutes to an hour, you need to be ready to be on your app, responding to comments, liking other comments and likes that have been on past pictures, going back to your other pictures. Usually I'll go back like a week and I'll go back and I'm like, oh man, there were more comments, and I'll go back and I'll like it and I'll respond to it. And you want to engage, and you guys have probably heard this, but with words that are with comments that are 4+ words or more. Okay, so even if you only have like 15 or 20 minutes, that's better than nothing. But if you just post and then leave, which I'm really bad about that, because usually I'm like, okay, honey, hold on 1 second. And I post it, right? And then I'm like, okay, my phone's down, I'm ready, let's hang out. But I've started to kind of change that up and realize, and some days that means that I don't get a post out, or that I only post once a day because I don't want to post something just to post it and then not have time to actually engage with it. So this is something that, try it out, test it for yourself and see how it works for you. So this is something that I do a lot of. Okay, so post 30 minutes, at least 15, 20 minutes, and that's I'll go back and I'll that's when I will answer stories. I will comment, like I said, all those different things. Now, you always want to also post this to your story, which you guys also should know, but you might not know. Take your pictures, share it to your stories. And this is something that I never really kind of thought of. I'll usually say tap to see this, or check out what Huddy did today, or something like that. But remember, we want engagement. We want people to interact with us on it, not just like it. We want people to comment and have a say. So when we have a call to action, you know, you're going to share that picture to your story. And then below it, that's where you want to actually put, you know, check out this post and come tell me, you know, what your favorite brand of dry shampoo is, you know, like whatever it is, that's where you're going to ask them. So then they click on it. They want to see that picture, right? You've covered it up. They want to see the picture, and then they're going to go ahead and comment. They already know what you're asking them to comment before they get there. Okay. So this is another great way to build engagement and also keep people on your feed. Okay. The next thing is obviously hashtags, which we're going to do like a mega overhaul. And I'm going to show you this app that is like amazing, and I'm loving it. And it's called Hish Hash. Okay, so just write that out. It's this little app right here, and it's pink. It's like a pink background with white, a white hashtag on the front when you get it from the App Store. But it's called Hish Hash. So you always want to add hashtags. Okay, up to 30. Instagram lets you have that many, so you can have that many. That's totally fine. But the big thing is two things that I've seen. Making sure that they're always different. So you never want the same combination. And this is something that I used to do. I used to have like my 3 or 4 kind of like packs of, you know, these are my motherhood hashtags. These are my ones that I post when I'm talking about fitness. These are my ones for my food, and these are my ones for whatever. Okay, and I realized that I wasn't really gaining like new followers, or it was just kind of like getting stagnant. And so I started using this app called Hish Hash. And what it does is that you'll create those what's it called? Those like lists for yourself. So you'll have like fashion, skincare, you know, fitness, mom life, mompreneur, work from home moms, whatever it is. And in those categories, you'll just dump all your hashtags, like any hashtags that you find. But I'm gonna like give you guys like the golden nugget of hashtags, like all these hashtags for you to use. Okay, but you're gonna stick them in there. And then this app, what's really awesome about it that I love is that you'll go in. So say I was posting something about kind of like my story, you know, loving that I get to work from home, talking a little bit about my kids and my journey. And so I would go into my Hish Hash app, and what I do is I go and I click like, you know, mompreneur, work from home moms, mom life, you know, my 4 or 5 different categories. And then I say shuffle tags, and it gives me a whole new set of hashtags. So you guys can all do this now and create, you know, put any hashtags you want in there. You know, this is like a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time, but it takes some time, right? You go into Instagram and you start looking, type in fit mom. We don't want to all use fit mom. That's too easy. So fit mom, and then see what else comes up and find some of the other hashtags that are a little bit more niche and smaller. And that's how I kind of created these lists. But like I said, we're going to go over all this in another call, like the actual hashtag stuff. But this app is amazing because not only does it shuffle them all up, you can have like 20 different categories and click, you know, 6 or 7 of them, and it'll shuffle you up a whole new batch of 30 hashtags to post with your posts. And all that you need to do is then go through and delete, you know, backspace on the ones that make no sense for your post, because that is something that's really getting sticklered down on right now is people using hashtags that are not relevant to their post. If you get reported enough times, they can like lock your account up. So you want to make sure that your hashtags make sense with what you're posting about. Another thing that's helped a lot, which sometimes I forget, but this is something that I have seen a lot more engagement with as well, and what has been researched, is using a carousel. So instead of just doing 1 photo, do 2, maybe 3, you know, do a couple photos. Because the main goal is to get people to stay on the app longer. When that happens, Instagram says, ooh, this person is doing that. I want to move them up in the algorithm. I want to show their stuff to more people. So that is exactly what's happening when we do that. So all these things of, you know, posting and then sharing it to your stories, and then having a carousel where they're swiping through a few more pictures, you know, that is all super good. Or having a longer caption where they're reading longer, where we'll talk about a second about how to get them to actually read longer. These are all things that boost that engagement. So a couple things that you guys could try, like tomorrow or tonight, whenever you post, is some of these tactics. The next one is super helpful, but you have to have a creator or a business account. If you don't, like if you're watching this and you're a newer coach, or maybe you're a coach of one of my coaches, making sure that you change your Instagram over, it's really easy. You go into your profile and you change it to a creator or a business account. And when you do that, you're able to then see the analytics of your post. And all that means is that you can just go in there and see what is the best time for you to post based on the people that follow you. So when are they most active on Instagram? What are your best days? What are the best times? And so you want to write that down and start to kind of track that and see. And then a big tip about that and why this is important is that you want to post before that peak time. So for example, say if like it's on my app, it says like all my, people are really on, what is today, Thursday night at like, 10 p.m. That's like my highest engagement time. So I would want to post at like 8:45, 9, and then ride that wave. So I posted, and now I'm engaging. I'm spending 20 to 30 minutes and I'm engaging. I'm liking other comments. I'm going in my stories. And this is just boosting me out farther and farther and farther into that peak time of when my Instagram followers are very active on Instagram. So that is something that can be a big tip as well. So posting just before you have a peak in your time of when your people are most active. Felicia, I saw you say that anytime between 12 to 6, which is like a huge time frame. So test it out, right? Like spend some time testing, just like we track who we talk to and we invite and we follow up with. Track this as well. Instagram is a beast, and if you spend time, diving in and committing to it, if that's something that you're interested in, because we know that helps us get our message out further, right? If you're committed to that, then definitely track this kind of stuff too, and just spend time kind of seeing, writing down, okay, this week I tried posting at this time and this time on these days, and how did that go? Kind of just take an inventory of that. Creator or business, I'm going to be honest, I forget what the difference is between them, but either one is fine. I do know that. You can do either one. So if you wanted to start with a creator account, that would be totally fine. I've got a lot of new coaches that, that use the creator version. So other things you guys know, of course, is using all the Insta gadgets and the stickers and the polls and using those daily. If you haven't used a poll in a while, do a this or that kind of poll. If you haven't used the little sticker, question box in a while, let people ask you questions and then respond to them. There's so many easy ways to do that. But again, you want to use Instagram as a platform where if they see you doing the things that they want you to do, like engaging and being active, not just being a post and run kind of person, not just, just being there, not using any of the things, then they're not going to push your stuff out. And that sounds so funny talking to this like abstract being Instagram, but that's how the algorithm works. Okay. So using all those little gadgets is super important as well, like little, tags and stickers and things like that. And then also you guys have heard this one too, I'm sure, but tagging everyone in your stories and your posts. So tag all the brands, all the people, all the locations. You just never know who or what could pick that picture up and want to send you free stuff or want to use your picture on their feed. I mean, you just never know, especially as you get better at taking pictures, which that's a whole nother call I'm going to do as well about how to take your own pictures. But don't feel like, you just want to always tag people and tag their location and things like that. Obviously it doesn't have to be like right here, here's my house, but just the general, like bigger city or something like that is a great way to build your network. And people look at those hashtags a lot, especially in stories and things. So, okay, so anyways, bottom line, the more shares, the more reach, which basically just means that's how many more people see your things. So questions on any of this before I move on, because I know it was a lot of stuff, but my main goal is for you guys to just take this and to pick a couple things that you haven't tried before and just see how it works. This is something that's not going to change overnight. So I better not get a message tomorrow of somebody saying, but it's not working, because this is something that has to build over time. You do have to commit and take time to try this out on your feed, like a month, okay? And really spend time diving into that. Okay, no questions, I don't think. Let me see. Allison has a very funny story about her hashtags. She used to hashtag, what was it, like single mom or something? I don't remember. And she used to get the most ridiculous men asking for sugar daddy and stuff.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous. So don't do that. Post other very specific hashtags. Okay, let's talk about aesthetics. Okay, so we're gonna talk about aesthetics. So that's like what the look of your feed, right? Now, just forget everything that people tell you about it needing to look perfect. That is so not true. It really, really, really is truly about you and what your people would want to see. So like for me, like think about yourself, right? When you hop onto Instagram, where do you trend? Like drop in the chat. Like, do you like, the really pretty curated feeds? Are you into like, do you like when they post a lot of fun quotes and things? Like, what is it that draws you into somebody else's feed? Like, is it that you like the big white spaces? So you really like people that have a lot of, like, not a busy feed. Things like that is all really important, because the way that you see things and what you're attracted to is probably the way that you're going to also post as well. And so it's all really relative and very personal to each his own, right? So it's about what you prefer and what you kind of like, or maybe you don't even care about that and you just care about the content, which is great. That's what we're aiming to serve our people more. So, but the root of what you want to worry and focus about with your aesthetic and with your feed is really the content that people want to hear from you. So what I want you to do is take time and look through your posts. And even while we're on this call right now, you can sit and look at your Instagram for a minute, but go look through some of your last posts and see, like, what did people engage with the most? Drop it in the chat, like spend a second. I'm going to pull up mine too. Okay. So take a second and pull up your Instagram profile. And I want you to look at your feed and tell me, like, what, when you click on it, you look at comments or you look at likes and things like that. What are some of the things that got connected with the most? Okay, because this is the stuff that you're going to want to track and start writing down and seeing how many times does it happen. So like, for me, it's always like, a family picture or something about motherhood where it's like really raw and kind of like, below the surface. Transformation pictures do okay for me, but honestly, a picture where it's just me and then maybe a swipe to a transformation does better, because that's just the way that my feed is. And then we'll talk about reels in a minute. But so tell me some things. So food pictures, long captions, your littles, share funny stories, dogs, real, raw, motivating. Yeah, so this is great, you guys. So yes, Jessie, I bet your fitness photos for sure, because they're so pretty. So all these things, start writing these out and start just kind of like taking note, like maybe once a week, like maybe set a reminder on your phone on Sunday and say, okay, go back and check out what was most interacted with. You can also do that if you have a creator or a business account. It will tell you, what are your top interactive posts, and you'll be able to see that as well. But I encourage you just to kind of go back and look at that and see what they engage with most, because what they engage with most, you want to do more of that. So if we're talking just purely about pictures, you want to do more of those pictures, and then you can format your message into whatever you need it to be and let it go with that picture. But if people hate selfies and you never get any likes or engagement on a selfie, stop doing a selfie. I'll teach you how to put your phone up somewhere and do it on a timer and get more of a full body shot, or you sitting or something. But take note of what people engage with the most, for just picture wise, and also for the verbiage, also for the interaction and the wording of what you're sharing. Figure out what is it that really works on your feed. Maybe it's like super boss babe, like empowerment posts. Maybe it's transformations like some of you guys. Maybe it's stuff about motherhood, like anything about motherhood and funny mom things and stories about my kids or stories about my journey. Like that always does really well on mine. Maybe it's about being like a super independent woman. Maybe it's about family life quotes. Whatever it is, just start taking notes of what that is, because that's what you're going to want to do more of. Because when you do this, you start to showcase your niche and your theme and the purpose of what your page really is all about. And so what you want to do too is really be honest about who you are. Are you a mom? Are you a teacher? Are you a diabetic? Are you a cancer survivor? Are you going through IVF? Are you, oh gosh, all the things, right? Anything that you can identify with. If you're not, excuse me, if you're not sharing that kind of stuff, you're missing out on being able to connect and attract a very real and raw audience that grows much faster and much more quickly, because it's real and it's actually you. It's not you trying to play the part of being what an influencer page would look like, or being what a fitness page would look like. You being you is good enough. So now let's just kind of work on, putting all the pieces together and making it really nice and a pleasant experience for people when they're coming here, both visually and both by the verbiage that you share. So everything to say with everything with aesthetics and everything, you can get better at pictures. You can get better at writing good posts and things like that. That will all evolve over time. Like if you could look at some of the things that I used to post my first year of coaching, it's like, holy moly, like Jesse's on here right now. Like, how did they even follow me back then? Because like terrible, like really, really bad pictures, just not good quality at all, and like massive graphics everywhere. It's very funny. So you can get better at that, but your aesthetic, you guys, is really what you engage with. What you engage with the most, and that's what I want for you to start to curate on your own feed. So when you start taking notes of this, okay, this is where you start to figure out what goes well on your page. So this is your homework, right? To think about, look through the last couple of weeks and kind of see some of the things that have done well. And you're going to repeat those things, right? Repeat pictures, repeat words, things like that. And then that is what you're going to use to kind of curate your feed and the vibe that you want. So once you figure out what that is, once you figure out what does well on your page and what your people want, then you can use that. That's the kind of pictures you're going to post. That's the kind of quotes you're going to use. That's the kind of, just the kind of content that you're going to share to be the forefront of your feed. And then what we're going to do with that is then that's kind of the curation side, right? If you're curating a page, you're curating your Instagram, you're just making it look the way that you want to, but also making it look the way that your people want to, because it's not really about you, it's actually about them, right? Your page might feel like this is my page, which it is, but it's my page that I get to serve other people through. And so I want to take note of what it is that they also need from me. And so that's how I'm going to curate the feed that I need, but then I'm going to create my feed in a different way. And so this is going to be a little bit of a review, but maybe it'll be even simpler than what I taught it before on like my hour-and-a-half call diving into this. But this is something that you guys has just like, oh, it's like monumentally helped me create posts that people engage with. Okay, so creating, once you have your curation, right, you've got your kind of feed, but now we are thinking about creating our actual posts, our actual content. And there's 3 types of ways that we can do this. And I'm not going to talk about Instagram stories because Instagram stories is all, you know, you guys have heard all this, right? You know how to show up on a story. But for a post and things, this is something that's really, really helped me a lot, especially because if we're not posting every single day, maybe once a day, but we're not posting multiple times a day or anything like that, it becomes very, very simple to create content for the whole week, right? Or for a month if you have enough like brain space to sit down for that long. I don't. I have to go like a couple days at a time. But when you can think about it this way, that there's really 3 types of posts that you will use in your feed to connect with people the most. This is going to help you serve your people so much better. And when you serve your people so much better, they are going to stick around. They are going to bring people to the table also. And you're going to have more people that come to you and connect with you that are actually who you want with you, because they actually are beginning to relate to what you're sharing and connecting with your story and who you are. So the first thing is the viral post, okay? And I'm going to share some other like little random tips about Instagram at the end here, but I want to go through these 3 types really quickly again, and maybe it's a refresher for some of you guys, and maybe you never actually implemented it, but maybe this will make it a little simpler, okay? So there's 3 types of posts, and we call those vulnerable posts, viral post, and valuable post. Okay, so maybe make like a column, like a sheet on your notepad right now, and like write them down and like give yourself, 3 little columns. There's 3 types of posts that we can make. Okay, a viral post this is the type of post that, okay, so how many posts in the chat, like what is an account that you follow that has like funny memes or quotes or like mommy things that you love? Like one of the things like I love that, oh my gosh, Lindsay, and I was just gonna say that. I can't remember his last name though. The Simon guy. I love Scary Mommy. I love like the Boss Babe, or the CEO School. Those are all some really good ones that I like. And so it just kind of like depends on who you are, right? Again, it's going to be your vibe. But when you think about viral posts, this is thinking about who are your people, okay? So you have to think about this. Maybe write this down while we're talking. Who are your people and what do they like to see? Okay, if you were them, what would they be looking at on Instagram? What would they want to share? What would they want to save and like send to a friend? Like oh my gosh, like I have to save this, or, oh, I got to send that to Lindsay Ann, or like, you know, things that your people would be like, oh my gosh, I have to save this. That is the kind of stuff that is a viral post that you will be posting on your page. I will not post something that is like super crude and like some people will think it's funny, but my people would not. Okay, my people are all like lovey-dovey, like, oh, like they would be like, that's not funny. So for me, these are some that do well. Like I posted this one today, this Simon Holland. Oh, there we go, Simon Holland. 94 degrees outside, wife, lights fall, scented candle. Okay, my people like ate that up. They loved that. They thought I was so funny because me, like in the comments, I'm like, me, I'm that wife, right? I'm like, how many of you are that wife? And so my people are engaging with that. That was super relatable to them. It was not something that I created. It was something that I engaged upon, that I liked. And so I screenshotted it. I posted it in my feed. I gave him credit, tagging him, and I posted it. And who cares that it's not mine? It's bringing people in, and people are engaging upon it and loving it. That is a viral type post. Okay. So this is something that we can do like up to like 15 times in your feed a month, which is a lot of times. Like that's stuff. This is the kind of content that brings new people into your page. Okay. So we want to bring new people in first. So this is the stuff that people see scrolling around and that they quickly just send to somebody else. Like I can't tell you how many things like my husband and I send back and forth from each other. So this is the stuff that people just want to engage with. They think it's funny. They think it's empowering, you know, anything like that, or they think it's like helpful. And so they'll save it. So this is something that I want you guys to try. The biggest thing is just if you screenshot somebody else's, just give them credit. So if you saw something on my page that you like, you screenshot it and just you tag me in the photo. Same thing if it was for Oprah, okay, or like whoever's cool quote post that you found. But this is actually like really fun. Like I think it was Lindsay Ann on a call, and she's like, I love posting things like this because it's just like when I don't really have a big post to make, like I can easily post something like this and it's got a great way to still keep my people engaged. That's exactly what this is for. Okay, the days where you're like, oh my gosh, like I've got nothing to post. Like I've been running around like crazy and I just can't get all my words out because I haven't planned my content out or anything. This is a great way to do that. And it's actually still really valuable because it's going to bring new eyes to your stuff. And it's also got people sharing and commenting all over the place. So if I were you, you could just scroll, you know, once a day and kind of find things on different accounts that you like and see what did well on their page. You know, just save it. You can save it into a collection on Instagram. And it's a really easy way. But these are some examples. You know, you can do quotes. You can create it in like a Twitter format, which I've done here as well. You can actually create a Twitter or just like get a template. You can create things just like on your notes, right? Like just like type literally, if there's a quote that you like from your personal development, type it into your notes app, screenshot it and post it like that. Like how simple is that, right? It's more about just giving them quick saves, quick little ways for people to get things. You know, sometimes if it's a really profound quote, it doesn't necessarily need to be put with a picture, you know, just write it up on a note page or write it on a piece of paper, screenshot it and post it. Like it could be as simple as that. Okay. So this viral type of content, stuff that other people have done that's already proven to do well, or quotes and things that you make that, you know, you want people to be able to easily save and share. The best way to do it too that I found is black and white. Don't get all fancy with all the colors and stuff because people who don't like that color on their feed might not like it. So they might not share it as much. Okay. Vulnerable content. This is the next kind of content. And often when we become coaches, I think a lot of times we think that we can't be super fun and silly and quick. Like it becomes like we have to write long posts all the time. How many of you guys have ever felt like that? I mean, sometimes I feel like that, but I'm just really wordy too. And I write like I'm writing, you know, like a journal entry. But so vulnerable posts, this is the second kind of post, okay? This is where, okay, so we have been like, if we go back here, like we have been learning all the Instagram tips. We have kind of started to create some good aesthetic here. And we have learned how to kind of figure out what our people want. So we know the kind of posts and the kind of quotes and the kind of pictures and things that we're going to share. Now we're starting to create some content. We are creating stuff that people can easily save and share. That's the viral kind of content. And now we've got these people coming in and we want to create a deeper connection with them. And that's this vulnerable type of content. This is the kind of post that's like, why We want to meet them where they are. Why would they want to stick around? Why would they want to connect with you further? Why would they want to stay a part of your journey on your page versus somebody else's? This is where you got to kind of get to put in that personal story kind of touch, where we start to just dive in. You want to evoke emotion in people, right? We're influencers. We are people that connect with people where they are and say, hey, me too. Like, this is how I've gotten through that, or this is what this journey has meant for me. What do you think it could do for you? This is exactly that kind of content. And this is where we use something, it's called, I didn't write it on here, but it's called the HICA formula, which I'm going to talk about it in just a second. So hang with me. I'm going to give you a very simple way to write a vulnerable post that actually will be really connective, instead of just like writing aimlessly, like, okay, so this one time I was born and then I realized I wanted to be an entrepreneur and here I am, like it's going to be better than that. Okay. But this vulnerable type of post like this, something that usually helps me a lot will be to start with a quote that I really like, and then I reflect on that. So a lot of times my vulnerable post will come from like when I've read personal development, or I've read a devotion, or I've read, I've scrolled Pinterest and like this amazing quote pops up. And so I post that first, and then I'm like filled with all the emotions of like, yes, I can do this. I'm like such a boss babe. And then all my things start, flowing out of me. And I'm like, yes, this is a great post. Okay. But this vulnerable post is really telling your personal story about, where you've been and where you're going. So I did put a couple examples here. You probably cannot even see these because they are so tiny. Let me try to move this bigger. So like, for example, this was one where I shared about my venture with the Bee brand. And so I started it though with, a hook, right? A hook is like something to draw you in. So instead of just going straight to, so 4 years ago, I started the Bee brand in my kitchen, right? You're like, I've kind of told you the whole story right there. But I can make it much more vulnerable and connecting if I kind of start with like a little bit in like a little bit into the middle of the story. So I started with a quote of very similar words to what I told my husband, right? Like, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be so cool if I could do that? I said to my husband, and it's like, you don't see any of that when you're scrolling. All you see is that part and you're like, wait, if she did what, right? And then you want to click and you want to read more. So this is the kind of post that we're talking about. And then I go into it, right? And I start talking all about my story with the Bee brand. And, my call to action was a giveaway on this one. But so let's talk a little bit about this, okay? When we talk about creating content and really sharing and being vulnerable and connective, we also want to focus on creating one other type of post. Okay, so we've done the viral, things to get more people in. That's just kind of fun, connective. We've got the vulnerable, where we're telling a story and letting people see kind of that change, right? This is really the core of what we do as coaches. That vulnerable is taking them on a journey, letting them see where you started and where you are now. Even if it was like, I started coaching last week and here I am one weekend, that's okay. That you can tell a personal story, or maybe you can connect it back to something you went through in your adolescent years or whatever. But that vulnerable kind of post is very important to create a deeper relationship with the people that you're following, so that you get this stronghold on them and they want to continue to follow you. They want to continue to see what your journey turns out to be, and they want to be a part of it. Then the valuable is the last type of post. The valuable is where you continue to create even tighter bonds with your followers. This is why they actually came to your page, right? They got brought in by something funny that somebody else shared. They've actually started to connect with you because they feel this really deep, vulnerable sense of who you are and what you're going through. Maybe they're also going through a miscarriage. Maybe they're also moving and it's really tough, or maybe they too have no family near them and it's just exhausting in motherhood right now because they've got no help. Whatever it is, like, they've created this connection with you. And now they've also become part of your page, part of your story, and now they don't want to leave because they're getting all this value from you. So this is what they came for, because now they're like, oh, well, now I can never leave this page because she gives me so many great tips or so many great encouraging things. So first, I want you to think, and this, I want you guys to drop this in the chat. What do you think about? So if I was to ask you, what are your people's biggest problems? Like, what do they struggle with the most? Like, I'll tell you some of mine. Like, when I've asked my people, or when I think about conversations I've had with them, some of the biggest problems or biggest things that my people struggle with is things like, I can't wake up early because I'm too tired, or I don't have enough money to make this work. but I see them, buying all the fancy things. Or some other ones, I'm worried about what other people will think. Or I'm too exhausted by the end of the day. I'm too overridden by mom guilt. What are some other things? My kids, like, get so many things about my kids, right? So we all can think about people's problems. Like, you guys can probably think of a whole list of things, right? That is their problem. Okay, same other kind of question, like, what would they want? Have you had anyone engage with you about this? Maybe you can answer this too. What would they want me to teach them? Like, what would people be so pumped about if you gave them like a quick tutorial on? Is it like how to make something that you like made for dinner? I get asked a lot about like my hair. Like, how do you do your hair? How do you do your makeup? What's your morning routine like? How do you make your kids lunches? Like, all the things, right? And it has nothing to do with coaching usually, right? So this is all the stuff that people it's their problems that they're struggling with and things that they would love to be taught, okay? So this valuable type of post is where we want to just help the people. We want to meet them where they are and serve them well. What's their problem? And you're going to turn it into a title. So for example, it might be, I can't work out because I have kids. Like, I can't work out when my kids are awake because it's just too hard. Okay, so that's my problem. And then I'm going to turn that into a title. Okay, this is going to give me a really easy way to make a post. So that's their problem. The way I would turn that into a title is like 3 ways you actually can work out while your kids are awake and enjoy it. Or maybe it's like 5 simple steps to have a positive outlook every day. Okay, or 3, maybe I've gotten some about like, how do you wake up not feeling like, oh, like groggy, like you got hit by a bus? 3 secrets to waking up without a headache, right? Or to waking up not feeling like you got hit by a bus, like whatever it is, think of what your audience would connect with. But this is how you make a really simple post, okay? That's a hook. A hook is something that, this is the stuff, you guys, if you take anything away from this, take those Instagram engagement tips and take this little part right here, okay, at the end right here. These 4 steps, because this will help you transform any post that you make or have made in the past into something way better than it ever was before. And I promise you, like, I have tested this, and there are days where I just don't have it in me to create a nice post like this, and it never does as well. Sure, you'll post like a picture of your family and things like that, but if you really want to serve your people and you want to create value with them and help them feel supported, because when you do that, they too in turn will show up for you, and they too in turn will comment on the post or like this or drop their email to find out more information, because they have been served well enough to trust you and well enough to feel like, okay, I'm in good hands and I know that she's going to give me the value that I need. Okay, that's what this really is about. And so this value a lot of times doesn't even have to, yes, I can paste it in the chat, Daniela. I just saw you. This value does not necessarily even have to be about coaching though. That's a great thing, you guys. Like, because we are coaches, does not mean that the only thing we can post about is the benefits of Shakeology and why we work out at home. There's so much more about you. There's so much more cool about you and so many more things that people want to connect with you on. And that is super, super cool. So when you connect with people on what their problem is and what they want to be taught and how to have a better morning routine, how to work out with kids, whatever, you're not teaching them like about Beachbody. You're just teaching them some life skills and things that you've used that have helped you. Okay, so when you start a post, when you start one of your valuable posts, I'm going to show you like a brain dump of some of my content here in a second. If you're still with me, some of you guys may have left already. We're almost done, I promise. Hook, starting with something to draw them in. Quote, phrase, middle of the story, like I did on this post, where instead of just saying like, I started the Bee brand 4 years ago and it's been great, right? You would be like, I don't need to keep reading because she already told me exactly what happened. But instead, I started with a quote to draw you in, and you wanted to read more about my story. Same thing. If I saw something that said 3 secrets to wake up without feeling like you got hit by a bus, I would want to keep reading more, right? Like, that's a hook. That's something that drags people in, okay? It kind of catches their attention. Then you've got your introduction. That's your transition into the actual content that you are going to provide. So for example, in this one, this is like, and that's when it all began. I've always loved da 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 da, and I go into like why, the background of like, why did I love what I was doing, or why did I love, creating things with graphics and things like, just my whole story. Okay, so your introduction is kind of weaving your like phrasing your way into what your content is. Okay, so the next thing is your content. And this is where you give the bullet points. So maybe, for example, you are talking about, you want to give tips to, what do we talk about? Like, what's one of the things that we just said? 5 simple steps to a positive outlook every single day. Or maybe it is 3 tips to help you get out of bed in the morning, right? And so then I'm going to give them little tips like go to bed early, put your phone on the other side of the room, whatever it is. I'm going to give them like a couple tips that help me. And then I give them a call to action. And a call to action, you guys, again, I think we forget that call to actions don't have to be, like join me now, right? It doesn't always have to be something like that. It's like, hey, double tap if you agree, or drop an emoji if you so feel me on this, or comment below if you felt like this too, or if you need help with this. Or maybe it's like you start with a story about, some kind of free group that you really want to host about how you're so overwhelmed and your house is a wreck. And then you go into like, I used to be this a really organized person, and then I had kids and blah, blah, blah. But I'm thinking that I want to host a free group centered around, around organizing and decluttering your life. And then I kind of maybe go into some tips. Like, did you know that by organizing your life, like this can help enhance like X, Y, and Z, like write all these different steps of your, your mental sanity or whatever you wanted to write. And then your call to action would be like, comment below if you'd be interested in something like that, and you can tell them what you want. So this is the type of value post. And that was a lot of information all at once. I realize that. But let me show you, I'm going to show you what my brain dump really quickly looks like of when I do some content type things like this. So can you guys see, can you see this? Let's see. Can you see this with all my, like my whole screen share here? I can't really tell because I can't see any of you, but I'm hoping that you can. Somebody say something in the chat because I lost my little picture of you guys.
I can see it.
Okay, sweet. So this is something that I've been doing where, so I will, like today my ideal client needs to hear. And so I'll just kind of jot down ideas for myself, right? So like how to create a simple morning routine. These are my ideas of things that I know that my people need to hear. Okay, like ways to put themselves first and ditch the mom guilt. How to combat overwhelm. Then I found like some other challenges and things like 10 steps to protect your positive vibe. And so like I've started to just create content like this. Now, have I posted all this? No, this is just my brain dump when I have a second to sit down and think about like what I want to share, why motivation is BS. Like that's what I really want to share about this week because people are like, I'm just not motivated. I'm like, that is not a thing. So I'm going to create a post about that. But you can see how these are the types of value posts that I am working on creating. And I've taken the common things that people have told me that they struggle with, and I'm going to turn them into posts that help them. 10 ways to be more confident, right? Like, and if you don't know, go to Pinterest, go to Google. You've got some people that are talking about that they're overwhelmed. Awesome. Go to Pinterest and type in some way, how to combat overwhelm. Like, and I'm sure things will pop up and you can think of a couple like bullet points for yourself and kind of help you out. So these are just things that can kind of, does that help at all to kind of think about in that mindset of what is something valuable? Like how can I just kind of create a title of what I want to share about and then give some bullet points and ask them to do a call to action at the end, like comment below if you feel this too, or if you understand this too, or whatever it is, right? So super easy way. Like, I don't know about you. I get really overwhelmed. People have been like, content plan all the content. I'm like, what do you mean? Like that stresses me out. Does that stress anyone else out when you hear that word, like content planning? Like that freaks me out. And so this has made it a lot easier to just kind of start a little Google sheet for myself and start just writing down the things that I want to share about, like that I genuinely want to talk about, that I think would be funny, tips that I want to give people. And I start just kind of putting them here. That's my first step, right? And I've written down some of my like call to action type things that I want to do, just kind of putting this everywhere. And then from there, I know that I've got like, I'll spend like an hour a day where I go and I start to write out a post. And this is where then you can go, you could go to Pinterest, you could go to Google and get some tips and things to kind of beef up your post. That is okay. You are providing value for other people. Share a little bit of a personal story and then start, give a couple tips. Like Pinterest has all the little pretty graphics with all the little things on it. Pull a couple things from it and create a super valuable post that somebody would want to save, right? So like this self-care tips one that I'm about to do, if I can find it, I don't know where it went, somewhere in here, but anyways, I have a post I'm about to make about self-care habits. And so, that's something that I have, right here. So favorite self-care tips. And so I made a graphic that looks like this. Can you guys see this? That looks like this, self-care tips. And behind it, I'm just going to post my 10 tips to taking care of yourself, right? Super simple, would really be awesome. And my call to action is going to be comment below and tag a mama friend that could use some help taking care of herself too. Like super simple, very on niche, very targeted to my audience, which is moms. And this is super, super simple. Okay. Questions about any of that? I know that was a lot. Let me look at the chat really quick. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I know I'm going super over, but I wanted to do something that was super valuable, hopefully. Oh yeah, Jesse, this reminder graphic right here, these are all templates on Canva, you guys. Here, I'm just going to show you. So on Canva, there's literally so many awesome things that are, guess what, on trend with Instagram right now. So can you guys see my screen still with Canva pulled up? Up here, look, all these are here. So you can take a quote and post it in here. You could take a picture like this. You guys know they're all editable. Little reminder graphics like this do very, very well. I did one the other day on my page. It was this one. This persistence can change failure into extraordinary achievement. And then I changed it to said, totally noted, right? That's something that I would say because I'm always like, yeah, totally. Okay, so this is something super, super helpful. Now, let me go back. And let me see. Hold on, I've got more chat questions. How do you? Oh, that was a reminder graphic. How often do you post viral about? I should have written this. I don't think I did. Okay, write this. Here, I'll copy and paste it into the chat. If you were going to sit down and plan out what you were going to share in a month, this is what I would aim for. 15 valuable posts. Okay, so that's why I've spent so much time in that Google sheet putting in content and thinking of the value things I want to share. And again, it's like, don't be overwhelmed with that. It's like literally anything. It could be like, well, I did one a while back that was about coffee because I love coffee and my people love coffee. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to talk about the benefits of coffee. Here's 3 reasons why it's okay to have like another cup of coffee, right? That's okay. You're adding value to people and it's stuff that they want to engage with and they would be totally pumped to hear about. Okay, and then the viral are the posts that we talked about, right? So the viral posts are the, the quotes and the graphics and the things like that. And as you start scrolling, you'll start to see what I mean now that you know that that's a thing, like the quotes and the memes and the Twitter posts and the things that you engage with really quickly that catch your eye, that's a viral type post. So that's 10 of those. And then valuable are the vulnerable, like let that be like a breath of fresh air. You don't have to write a flippin' long post every single day, like 5 a month where you really deep dive into your story. And guess what? People really aren't going to remember. So write up like 2, change a couple words and use those, spaced out in your month. And people are not going to really remember that. New pictures, but your story might be the same for now. And that's okay. You can share different, back, the kind of that before, during, and after kind of feel of like, this is where I was, this is where I am now, and this is kind of where I'm headed. That's that vulnerable kind of style. Reels, I'm not going to dive deep into this because this is something that I'm going to do a big training on, but if you're not on Instagram Reels, you definitely need to start doing them because we are seeing massive, like I'm seeing lots of new followers and lots of new engagement. Like I have over 100,000 views on a couple of mine from just being like an early user of Reels. So you want to do that. Look around and see what's doing well. Think about what your people would like. Like I have a plan to do a couple tomorrow, like that are kind of like boss baby of like, like that I had no idea what I was doing. And like, now I've got a business, kind of that kind of thing. Mom ones do really well. There's some of their dancing. So just kind of take a look. Don't be overwhelmed by it. Just try it, and just see what works well for you. It's a great way to share tips. So now, but when we just talked about all this content, right? You're creating all these value posts. You've gone to this content, you're writing out all of your stuff in your Google sheet here and you're writing all these tips out. guess what? This would make a fabulous reel, right? It's 15 seconds. And I'm like, 3 of my favorite self-care tips, right? And we're not talking, right? It just has the music, and you do the little like tap to each side. Like they say to go clockwise. So you just like tap, into the corner, like you're tapping at like, let's say like 7 p.m., 9 p.m., 11 p.m., 1 p.m. Like you go around the clock and you just kind of tap like this to show the different things. And you pick like 5 of these. There's a reel right there. Super easy. You just use stuff that you already had from a post that you made, and now you've turned it into a reel. You see what I mean? Like you can use these in a lot of different ways, especially like content used to overwhelm me so much. But when I realized that I've got all these little tips and tricks and things, but then when I want to create posts and things like that, if I actually turn it into a couple different ways that I'm using it, like it makes it so much easier. I hope that helps a little bit. Okay, so here's the last thing that we're going to talk about, and then I'm going to let you go because holy moly, I've kept you forever. These are my last 2 tips for Instagram. Number 1, use the voice button to talk your captions out. It will save you so much time, and I just learned how to do this. Holy moly, best thing ever. Okay, so when you're on your story, right, you've already filmed it, like today. I did this on my hair tutorial, if you guys watch my stories today. And I'm like curling my hair and I'm talking and I'm like, yeah, so I use like a 1-inch curling iron and I curl it back, and then I flip my head over, run my hands through it, and I spray it with this hairspray. Here's my hairspray, right? I'm doing quite a bit of talking. Good Lord, that would take me forever to caption my story, but you guys know that, or maybe you don't know, but stories do not get watched as much, and people will click right through them if you don't have words on it. So if you want to have words on it, all you have to do your stories, right? You got your 4 story slides and you're done. Then on the bottom of your phone, like you'll see the little, like on the keyboard, on the bottom right is the little microphone. Click that and then talk. So I use my curling iron. It's a 1, I always talk like really slow, and I'm like, so I use a 1-inch curling iron, period. It's from Target, period. I blah, 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 period. And then I look at it. I have to change a couple words, but holy balls, that took so little time, right? To just like write it out instead of having to write for like a whole minute, all the things, like you just speak it. Okay. So I hope that helps. That's number 1 tip. For this is like, that was like a bonus tip for all of you guys who stuck around, because some people are leaving. Okay. Number 2, I have 3 tips. Number 2 tip is copy and pasting images from your camera roll into your story. Okay, I think actually, let's see, Carol, did you ask this earlier? I feel like you asked this, maybe. I thought I saw somebody ask this. So I copy and paste images into your story. So this is like, oh man, I'm trying to think of an example of where I've done this. When you see my Insta stories and I'm like, okay, let's talk about some options. And I'm like, I do a boomerang of like option number 1, but then below you see like a picture. Okay, so what I've done is I take the boomerang first, and then I go to my camera roll. You click your picture. Here, just follow me along. Go to your camera roll. Okay, if you don't know how to do this, some of you guys do. But you'll go to your camera roll on your phone. Okay, you'll go to the picture that you want to use. On the bottom left, you've got that little square with the arrow. You click that, and then you say copy photo. When you click back into your Insta story of your story or your boomerang, it's actually going to pop up there. It's going to pop up on your story, and you'll be able to move it around like a sticker. But if it doesn't, you also can just tap like as if you were going to start writing with font, with text, and you just say paste, and it'll paste your picture in there. And you can do that with as many as you want. So that's something that has been like my favorite way to just have a different type of call to action, like than a story slide from Canva, or just boring. If I want to talk about a product, like I'll take a picture of my hairspray, crop the image, and then I copy and paste it into my story. And so I've got it on the bottom there, just to kind of give it, almost is like a sticker, but it's your own personal thing. So like I do that a lot with like the webinar page, like any of the pictures I post on our team page for like the webinar or some kind of cool training or like an announcement post, like that's all stuff you can save and just paste that into your story. So hopefully that helped. Okay, the third thing, I already did this. So the third thing was that planner sheet. Okay, so this content planning sheet, and I can share this, like I don't even care if you guys want to use some of this content and kind of like create your own stuff from it, but I can share it if that would be helpful for y'all. But this is just like literally I just took time to just think about stuff that my people would want. So encourage you guys to go back and like watch this training again, because I know that it was a lot. I'm like sweating off. I know that it was a lot, but I hope that was really, really helpful, because I feel like that was a lot of tips. Do you feel like that was helpful for you? Do you feel overwhelmed, or do you feel like, okay, I've got some things that I can implement? Or did you know all of that and I just spoke for an hour and a half and you don't care?
It was super helpful. I have a question, because I think you missed it and you probably said it. Where do you check to see the best? Do you use a separate app to see the best time to post, or are you using Instagram?
No, on Instagram. I'm so visual. Let me look at my app. So so when you're in your app, like on your profile, just like page, you see the top 3 lines on the right, like on the top right?
Yes.
Okay, so click that, and then you're gonna go to Insights. Do you see that?
Yes.
Mine's not loading, but when you click that, then it should show, oh wait, did it change? Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, so mine changed. That's why I was like, I thought something was like wrong, because I can't see mine anymore now.
Hold on, let me see. Okay, no, it's still there. So click on it, like click on interactions and click on accounts reached, like all that opens and expands to show you the level of, I was like, wait a second, what just happened?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so that's where it shows you. Any other questions, you guys? Since we're on late, but I'm here, so ask away. Let me scroll up and see if there's any other questions. I don't think so. Okay, awesome. Well, if you have, when is the Reels training? Soon, hopefully. I just got access tonight, so once I can sit down and go through it, I'm excited, and then I'm gonna start piecing together some stuff for you guys. Do you guys want me to do a hashtag training? Would that be helpful?
Yes.
Because what I'm gonna give you is like a Google spreadsheet like this with like loads of hashtags in there, and then you'll be able to add your own in there too. And then literally all you're gonna do is copy and paste them into your HishHash app, and you'll be able to use it. So you'll have like a big like bulk to start with, but then add your own in there too. Because like I know I have some like Mommy of 3 or like things that I like to use too. So that should be helpful. Oh, Rachel asked, how do you add text to your Reels? So in like when you make, like you'll make the reel first, but then on the top, like it's just like on an Instagram story, like you just can write out text, and then you can also cut it. So like on the bottom, it'll show like the little timestamp, and you can like make it only stay on one little part and then go away. I would just suggest like playing around with it. It's so hard to verbally say it. I'm gonna try to record a video soon for you guys, like just using it so I can show you, because I'm sure that made like no fit. Lindsay, I think that there is a bug going around with Reels because, you always cut your head off. Are you talking about when you film the video, or like when you put a picture as like the cover photo? You can unmute yourself. I don't know where you went. No, when it's posted to your feed. Yeah, you can't change that, unfortunately. It just stops. It goes like right smack dab in the middle. So I've noticed that as well. But I will say, do them, try them. Start, like if you start with implementing some of these things and creating some content, and then turn that into a reel. Like I have 3 that I'm going to make tomorrow that you can save them in your drafts. So if you have a day where you have like good hair day or something, like, do that. Or you want to do one of the ones where you like snap your hands from like total hot mess to like ba ba boom, like do the hot mess one and then just save it. And then whenever you're feeling ba ba boom, like hop into the page when your hair's all done. Like that's how they do it. So you can just keep them all in your drafts. Let's see. Oh, the Planoly app. Emily, I can show you that really quickly. If you guys have to go, please feel free. But I'm going to show my content like planner app where I put pictures. Emily, I totally meant to show you guys that. Here, I'll show you really quickly.
Something I learned, Lindsay Ann, something I learned about the reel thing today, I was going to start implementing it, was instead of doing your video at like and using the whole 15 seconds, putting a picture on second 1 and like doing it far away. And you can just like do a quick picture. It'll make it all the difference with like putting it on your feed. Because you can only do the edit. Your cover photo won't do it. I tried the cover photo that I was really mad that it didn't work like that.
Yeah.
At all.
Super true. Same thing for like, lives and things like that. Okay, but this is Planoly. So Emily asked about this. So night, Lindsay Ann, love you. Okay, so this is Planoly. So this is where I put, like, just like how I have the content planner for all of my posts, like my verbiage and things. This is where I put pictures at. So like so this is my last, right? This is my last picture I posted. These are all pictures above here that I have never posted that I just like have saved in here for a rainy day when I don't want to take a picture. And so I've got them just saved to use. Like if the kids are looking cute, I'll go and I'll, you know, take cute pictures of them outside on my front porch with my phone or with my camera. I can also, I'm planning on doing a big call on how to take like your own pictures and stuff. Like this is just taken with like my iPhone, like just trying to help you guys get a better like angle and things. I will say, do not ever take a picture with light on again, like in your house. Don't ever take a picture inside with overhead yellow light on. That will make all your pictures so much better if you stop doing that. That'll be super bright. Get by a window. Like you'll see every picture that I take is not like with light on. Like even this picture is like inside, no lights on, just like from the window shining light in. Things like that can help a lot. Or outside, but you can tell like when I take a picture inside, it's a lot more yellow. See how like yellow that is? So that's something that can help a lot with pictures. Or just go outside, like find a spot that you really like at your house and take some pictures. Anything else? So Emily, this is how I use it though. Super simple. Like all these up here are like, these are all viral things that I liked, right? So that I think are funny, that I think people would engage with, and that I know that I could create a value post with, or that I could share my story with. Like this is a great one to be able to use and share like my story of becoming an entrepreneur, you know, motherhood. Like this is a great one where I can get real and raw about like a motherhood story, or maybe I'm going through a hard season. You know, so there's just all kinds of things. So some of these I've curated myself, but other ones, like these are all just taken from somebody else that I'm just going to give them credit for. And I just liked them a lot. So,
So
this is a great,
do you just,
I just forget, say that again.
Do you just save everything there? Is that kind of what
so you'll say add to grid, and you can go either to your computer, or if you like have all the verbiage that you want to write, but you don't have a picture, you could do a placeholder and just say like, you know, hair. And then I say add one, and it's going to add me a placeholder. And so I can say upload as one or upload as a carousel if I want to add a couple pictures, but if I want to just upload as one post. And so then I can go ahead and write my post in here, blah, 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 and I can save it. And I've got it all saved in here. So it just makes it so easy if you spend time planning it out, and then I can move it around too. So the reason I like this, I don't post from this app. I just use it to kind of put my feed together, and which I really don't care that much about. It's more just like I can tell like if two pictures are like super dark or like they're all wearing the same outfit still, you know, I'll kind of move things around here. So like I can move them around. Like I try not to do two quote pictures together. You know, I wouldn't do like the couch and this decoration next to each other. You know, I just kind of think of like what looks good to me, like what my eye catches, and you can move them around. But it's a great place to save content for sure. And then you can also go back, like, and it'll show you like when you posted it, you know, and different things like that. So it's pretty awesome. I like it a lot.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anything else, you guys? Any other questions on anything? I'm about to take a boomerang of you. Will you guys smile? After we lost like 30 people. Okay, I don't have music for you, so you can just boomerang away and I'll share it in our team page too. But okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, awesome. I'll share it. Thank you guys for being on. If you have other questions, I will drop this recording, so share away with your coaches if you feel like it would help them. And stay tuned for a hashtag training, a Reels training, and a photography training. That's all on my list of things to train you guys on. So hope this is helpful, y'all. Thanks for spending so much time with me. See you later.